Hi, good afternoon, everyone. And you're tuning in to another show this week. It's called Woman to Woman, and we're keeping it real, ladies. The show was created so that we can provide yet another outlet for us to openly empower, share, discuss, and inspire each other to live a life of peace, fulfillment, and happiness. I am Chrishna Bowe. I'm your host for this evening. I'm a local author here in Freeport. Just newly published a book called Woman to Woman. We've been duped. And that book is available at Bethel's. It's also available at Logos in Nassau. If you are an e-reader, you can get it at Amazon.com or BarnesandNobles.com. So I just want to welcome you all to the show. I want to thank you for tuning in. Today we're actually going to be continuing off of the issue that we discussed last week, and that was romance and physical intimacy in the marriage. Before I continue, though, I just want to give a shout out to my sponsors, and they are Simply the Best, located in the Mayerport building. The number there is 351-6519. Simply the Best is a multimedia company specializing in audio and visual services, videography, photography, funerals, weddings, commercials, infomercials, you name it, it can be done at Simply the Best. So we want to thank Simply the Best, and we also want to thank Hair Dimensions. Hair Dimensions, located on Coral Road, Freeport, is the place to go to bring your hair to life. They specialize in hair products and accessories, Remy hair, wigs, extensions, cosmetics, skin products, and so much more. So check out Hair Dimensions. They're on Coral Road. You can call them at 351-1082. So again, I want to say thank you, and I want to invite anyone that believes in what we're doing and really believes in empowering our fellow women to sponsor the show. You can contact Love 97, or you can contact me at 351-6519. That's Chrishna Bowe, for sponsorship of this program. Now today, like I told you, you are tuned into Woman to Woman. It is a call-in show, so we invite your comments, your questions. We only ask that you be honest and transparent, as this is the way forward for empowerment of each other. The number here is 351-6176. Again, 351-6176 is the number to call if you want your voice to be heard today. Now, we are going to go straight into our topic, and that is, as I said earlier, romance and physical intimacy. Last week, we covered a lot of interesting aspects of that, and it was how do we keep, the romance alive, and how women should dress, and how do we go about keeping ourselves attractive for our husbands, and do we recognize that it is our mandate from the Lord to provide pleasure for our mates. And we spoke about our duties as a wife, and that ensuring that we have a vibrant physical intimacy or physically intimate life with our husband is a duty that we are called to fulfill, much like cooking or cleaning or taking care of the kids. This is a duty that we committed to when we got married. So we discussed all of that, and we also went into some of the do's and don'ts of the way women should dress, of how we tend to dress very attractively initially when we are just courting our man, and we go all out and dress down to the nines, and then the moment that we've gotten married or time has passed, we feel like that isn't necessary anymore, and we get into wearing the infamous dusters, as as a caller called it last week. So we addressed that is definitely a no-no. We addressed how you look when you're going to bed. Do you have the mask on? Do you have on the rollers? Are you really looking, sisters, like something the cat dragged in? Again, that was a no-no, and it does not in any way enhance a physically intimate our relationship with our husbands. Now, today we are going to go into what are the benefits, because I don't think that we realize, women, what are the benefits of having a high level of intimacy in our marriage. So there are some benefits for him, of course, but there are also benefits for us. Now, I'm just going to briefly go through that. Again, we're discussing romance and intimacy. The numbers to call if you want to ask a question or if you have a comment is 351-6176. The benefits, lady. First and foremost, there's the benefit of physical satisfaction. And everybody wants this. That one is a no-brainer. So by having a high level of intimacy in our marriages, we can secure and really ensure that we have a high level of physical satisfaction in that relationship, which is very, very important. It keeps you more fulfilled as a woman, and you get the release that you need also, so you can feel comfortable knowing that when you are with your mate, you know you're not going to come away from it gaining nothing, but you would have gained satisfaction as well. And another point, and this is a huge benefit, and if you've been married for longer than a second, you may have actually realized this, but having a high level of intimacy in your marriage really brings about a more harmonious relationship with your spouse. And ladies, have you ever noticed it? Think about it. You know, things are going good. You're having an exceptionally good week in the marriage, and the level of intimacy is high. And guess who's happier? That's right, your husband. Guess who's in a better mood? That's right, your husband. Guess who's more open to sitting down and discussing issues or addressing problems, or even, you know, more open to maybe granting some of those desires that you've had for a while? Yes, it's your husband. So we cannot downplay the benefits that this provides for us. And that harmonious relationship, that amicable relationship, that loving relationship that you can have in your marriage, a high level of physical intimacy enhances that and definitely works for us. Overall, again, it can strengthen the marriage because, you know, this was designed by God. God created us to be together with our husbands. And when we do that, we find that there is a level of closeness that we can maintain with our husbands, a level of closeness that cannot really be achieved by any other way than to actually be physically intimate with our mates. So it does strengthen the marriage overall. And, you know, it does that because it allows your husband to see, listen, my wife, she's into me. She's into really making me happy. She's into pleasing me. And she's actually considerate of my emotions, my feelings. And as a result of that, is making an effort to have a really high level of intimacy. So it can strengthen your marriage overall. And I mean, nothing can compare to that. And then it makes our husbands more pliable. You know, it makes him more pliable. You know, he's more open to sitting down and being willing to have a conversation, or he's more open to sitting down and communicating. He's more open to doing some of the things that we want him to do, simply because he realizes that we are now doing some of the things that he wants us to do. So, you know, these are very great, very good benefits for us as women. And these can all be as a result of a high level of intimacy in our marriage. Now, we're going to move away from the women now, and we're going to go to the benefits for the guy. The benefits for the guy, of which are many, but I am thinking that I'm going to go straight into that. I think I have a caller. Okay, so let's take that caller before we go into the benefits for the guy. Go ahead, caller.
Hi, Ms. Bowe. Wonderful show. I'm listening,
you.
and I listened last week as well. I hear you speaking of the benefits to the wife as to why she should be physically intimate with her husband. Why does it seem, though, that you're trying to make a case to convince women that this is something they should do? I mean, just be upfront and clear. Is there something that we're doing wrong as men? Why women don't seem interested in physical intimacy as much as we are? Is it just our makeup? I mean, what are we doing wrong? Why does it seem that you are trying to convince women, like this is a task, like this is a burden on them, like just give it up, just do it? because, there'll be certain benefits. Just share a little on that for me, please. Are we doing something wrong?
Okay, Carla, you had the two-part question, I think. The first part is, unfortunately, I would say in a lot of marriages, we have quite a number of men that are doing some things that are wrong. I think that as a couple, you get married, you have kids, you have demanding jobs, and our relationship with each other, it gets lost in the shuffle. And I think as men, women can be taken for granted. They can be paid less attention to. Women can actually be overworked in the home, all of which can lead to a woman just being so exhausted that the thought of being physically intimate at 11 or 12 o'clock at midnight is like, really? Oh my God. So, there is some responsibility on the man for the fact that women do seem to not want to be as intimate, because in many cases, when we're courting someone, when we're dating somebody, we treat them so well, we're trying to get them. But as I said to the women last week, the man, once he's gotten the woman now, you kind of forget how you got her. And then you don't seem to make the effort to make a woman feel wanted, to make a woman feel loved, to make a woman feel like, listen, she is your queen. And in addition to that, we get lost. You're working, all of us are working really hard. You get a couple of kids who are in and out of the bedroom, and life just happens, and we put the care and attention that we used to place on our mates some time ago, we put that on a back burner. And women are very emotionally charged. So as a man and as a husband, attending to that woman's feelings, attending to her soft side, that's very, very important. And it can reap benefits for the man in the long run, because you play a part in making that woman feel like she's attractive, like she's sexy, like she's the most important thing. So that's the first thing, Carla. And I know you said that it seems as if I'm trying to convince women. I am not trying to convince them as much as I'm trying to highlight that when we do have a high level of intimacy, that it can actually work for us, because sometimes, you get tired, you get lost in the shuffle, everything else takes prominence in the marriage, and we forget how important it is to be intimate with our husbands. So I'm only trying to point out that we need to be intentional about ensuring that we keep a vibrant that we keep that romance alive. And in doing so, that there are actually benefits to it, which really, really contributes to the overall health of a marriage. So it's a great thing, and I don't think that women think about it sometimes. They just get caught up with being exhausted, and they're angry at the man and however many issues they're facing, and they forget that when you don't have a high level of intimacy, it compounds the problem as opposed to really solving or working towards solving it. So thank you for that call. I think I have another call on the line. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to Woman to Woman.
Yes, hi. Good afternoon. How are you, Ms. Bowe?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Good. I am just totally encouraged by your answer to the last caller. And being a wife of 20 years.
Wow.
I would like if you can also stress, or do you feel it important to stress the fact that sex and intimacy is two different things. And I feel a lot of men, they confuse the two. Right. And like you're saying, if a woman is exhausted and she's tired, one of the things that she's not looking forward to is having sex.
Right.
But I'm definitely sure as a wife that she will be more open and welcoming to intimacy. And I think a lot of men are losing that because he's asking, what are we doing wrong? It's you sound like you're begging us to have sex, but it's not really, to have intimacy. But I feel like a lot of men are confusing the two. Would you be able to elaborate on that a little bit, or clear that up a little bit for us?
Yes. Thank you so much, Carla. That's an interesting viewpoint to bring to the discussion today. And of course, it is a woman that brings that viewpoint, right? Because there is a difference between intimacy and physical intimacy, or sex, as we normally call it, right? And the thing is, I'll say this for the guys. You're so right about that. A woman needs to feel that level of intimacy before she can proceed with physical intimacy. So just for the guys out there listening who we want to encourage to please listen and give thoughts and questions and ideas, it is important that a high level of intimacy, not only physical intimacy, be maintained. Example, okay, a hug or a caress or a kiss or, a rub on the shoulder, a rub on the back, or maybe, you surprise your wife and just come and grip her from the back and say, honey, I love you. Okay, those are examples of becoming intimate with your wife. And a lot of times, a woman is emotionally charged and she needs that intimacy to take her to the next step. So I'm actually really glad that the caller made that point, because intimacy and physical intimacy are different, but being intimate with your wife or being intimate with your husband can really yield the benefit of leading to a physical intimacy. So it is really important that, we just don't get into a slam bam, thank you, ma'am type of thing. Very, very important, that a woman feels loved and that she's caressed, like I said, and that she's shown levels of affection. So that would be, as a woman, my tip to the guys out there, that in addition to being physically intimate with your wives, guys, make the effort to be intimate. Make the effort to get close to her first before you just, try and get into the meat of the matter, for lack of a better term. So we're going to come back to the benefits for your husband. And I'm thinking that the benefits of your husband should be of interest to the wife, because, if we are married to our husbands and we say we love our husbands, then we should be interested in ensuring that, and in as many ways we can, that we can help them have a happier, more fulfilled life. We'll be right back. Thank you.